Live
Yeah.
now. We just went
Okay.
live. Let me
Okay.
let me set everything up. Yeah, it has been intense. Uh,
Yeah, it's intense for a lot of people. I can say.
I think it's intense for everybody. I don't see anybody walking on water, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah. It's all good.
definitely providing opportunities like we've never had. You know,
Absolutely.
for growth and
Ab-
expansion. Yeah, and uh, the obvious is obvious, even to ourselves. I think the obvious is becoming more obvious. When are you projecting? When are you expanding?
yeah.
When are you taking responsibility? When are you not? You got 35 people in the house already. It's a good day. It's a good day. It's a good way to
Everyone.
start the morning. Yeah. I didn't catch all the names, but I got Ali Ray, Jania Gazda, Heather Houston, Mary Moreno, Primi Christ Hogo, Angela Brickerhoff, David Brown, Mary Lou, Nancy Lynn Love, Debrielle, Denise Chadwick, Linda Dinkelman, Heather Nielsen. Thank you, everybody, for your continued love and support and contributions to keep this thing going as we don't lose sight of the dream that we've been given, which is to create an independent stream of multiple channels,
Yeah.
expanding a vibration, mirroring the universe, eventually available a profile-based community, archives, and a directory for products and services, to use 3D terms. But anyway, big thank you for me and Morgan from Soulogy. And it's good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while, Marco. I think the last time
Yeah.
we did something, I was in Sedona. I
Yeah.
think
You were in
we,
Sedona.
yeah. And it's always good with you. It's always good with you. You
Thank
look good.
Thank
You
you.
feeling good?
Yes.
I've seen a couple of videos of you partying, so I know things are going all right. A couple
Yeah.
of light worker gatherings. It's good to
Yeah.
see you connected with Augusti and Vera, and I think Lindsay,
Yeah.
Aline.
We have a meeting on Saturday.
That's what I heard. We'll talk about that so other people can know about it that are in the area. You also
Yeah.
connected with Aline from Norway, my friend.
Yes, of
Aline.
course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I have that video. I have that video to blackmail you guys.
when we were
dancing DJs. Huh? Yeah.
when we were dancing, you mean?
Yeah. I'm just messing with you. So, yeah, we were just remarking, or I was remarking that your your posts have gotten real intense. Always have good information, but yeah, it's definitely gone up a notch, like you said. Many people going through very intense things right now, and things being presented to themselves by themselves uh, to discern for themselves what the proper course of action is, or what the most conducive one is. Let's put it that way. The one that makes it easier. We're all looking for ease and
Absolutely.
grace. Yeah. So how's it been going for you since the first of the year when well, I don't know exactly when everything changed, maybe the solstice or 11/11, but there seems to be, it's obvious every day that we're in a new place as opposed to where we were in 2018. How's it been for you these first few weeks?
I mean, I'm meeting a lot of new people, and they are absolutely in alignment with my new vibration. So I think this is happening for a lot of people around the world as they shift inside. They shift also their manifestation outside, and so you are able also to meet more people that are more on your same frequency, and so you can understand better each other, and it's more simple to speak and to have something in common.
Yeah, that's right. Like dancing.
Yeah. Yeah, dancing, it's a way to express joy. So
Yeah, absolutely. Movement. So, and we've talked before on the last two shows. I mean, you have this lifestyle that you've shared with us that's evolved from when you woke up, and you also have what on the surface looks like a 3D job.
yeah,
So you have, and you've talked about that. Now, have you seen any type of change in the collective in the workplace?
I've changed office 3 months ago. So I am in a new environment, and of course everything that changes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Everything that changes accordingly to your frequency. So it's like if you switch timelines based on the frequency you are able to reach. So for me, was changing office was just a consequence of my new alignment, and I'm meeting a lot of new people that are more compatible with me.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. But
Yes,
but also,
absolutely.
yeah. But also with the understanding it's you that changed.
Yeah, the
Right.
change I mean, for me, the change is when I observe my personal evolution, and most of the time when I post something, I speak about my personal experience, but I try to make it understandable for everyone. So I speak about what I'm going through and what happens in me, and I try to observe myself every day and observe what type of changes I have in my state of mind, in my habits, in my reactions, in what type of food I want, what type of people I want to speak with, or you have this kind of small details every day that you can absolutely observe, and from that you can analyze what's happening also in your physical change. So you can make like a connection between what's happening in your state of consciousness and what's happening in the body as a Kundalini activation.
Yeah. Yeah. And you write a lot about the Blu-ray. And what's that? What in from your perspective? What's the situation there? What's the status of the Blu-ray grid? Are you meeting Blu-rays when you've gone out? I know you've met a few because I've seen the movies. But are you seeing what are you seeing there?
I see. I mean, all the people that are in contact with me, and a lot of people. I receive messages from people from a lot of countries, different countries, and they are all. They have all the same experience, the same patterns, the same challenges, the same hard lessons. And so we can define really empath and really sensitive people that are coming from this ray that is the Blu-ray. So they are Blu-ray soul, and I am in contact with a lot of them, and I think this group of souls is particularly engaged for a particular challenge, like the physical body has to be used really as a vehicle for the light to be distributed, to be transmitted. So the really strong Kundalini activations are useful to be able to transmit the light.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Very well put.
it's really something technical, because I really want to explain this concept in the simplest way possible. When our chakras, we have these energetic points in the body. When our chakras are blocked by fears, shame, blame, lies, illusions, all these low frequency energies, they block the chakras. And that's why we, as electromagnetic beings, we cannot connect to the source if the chakras are blocked. So the light cannot enter if you have these blockages, basically. So you have to remove the block to let the light enter in your body. It's really a simple concept.
Yeah, it is. And as time's gone on, the whole thing is maybe not gotten easier, but it is simplified. You know,
Yeah,
we're you know, where it might have taken one of, you know, 1,000 different modalities to remove blockages in the chakra, we can now walk in a space where we can take 5 minutes with our higher self or our multidimensional aspects all contained within ourselves, and we can energetically do whatever we need to do just by the desire to expand.
absolutely, absolutely. And this it's not something new age, or they try to create categories and to define some movements, but I really think this is something really old, that it's part of the ancient path of illumination that was described in every religious text of the past, and then that was later on changed and manipulated to change the real meaning. But the original meaning of every religion comes always from the same concept. The temple is your body. Your body is the temple, and you have to build your temple with unconditional love. It's really something really simple. It's not we are just remembering something that everybody knows in his in the deepest core of his being. You know, it's something that everybody knows. Every soul knows this truth, but it's like if we forget this. We in this society, it's really simple to forget the simplest truth.
Yeah, that's for sure. And even if those truths are all in those sacred texts, there was a a template set up that put it outside of us. You know, in other words, come to this church, come to this synagogue, come to this temple
Yeah,
or mosque, and gain your salvation. You know, you can read the words, and that you don't need to go anywhere, right? But I think people are
absolutely.
waking up to that. People are waking up to that. Uh, yeah, and I think another thing that's really starting to expand in everyone's consciousness is the ascension or the ascending masculine energy. You're seeing a lot more masculine incarnations stepping up and stepping out or coming out and exposing their vulnerabilities. And I think that's important because we all know that she went first. You know, she started first. She started the fire. She put her foot down or whatever. But it's
Yes.
interesting because you know, it's the way I see it or the way I've received it is, you know, obviously you've got women's intuition, and to me, it seems like the masculine energy was more asleep. Um, you know, especially in the male incarnations where they took on the physicality of that energy. And in this realm, given that false power, it's quite a challenge to accept from the masculine energy all the things that we did as a result of that power. And then we can go deep on that. We can go to incest. We can go to rape. We can go to infidelity, war, which was programmed, killing. And I think, where so much of our masculinity came from these.
It's a distortion.
Yeah, it was a distortion, but that's where our identity came from. So I'm watching men, including myself, lose all that and get to the 0 point where you're basically like a baby coming out of the womb, fresh and clean, and that feels good. But there's another part of you that's, it's like you don't even know who you are. So releasing the power, releasing that illusionary power to gain a really sacred divine power. Go ahead.
It's a process absolutely challenging for us, because I think women as more they are more connected when we start from a broken point, let's say. So we start where we are all disconnected from source, let's say. We start from that point, and women have more power to connect with the highest chakras. So for them, it's more simple to get immediately the intuition and be on the right path. For us, is more challenging, because we have this patriarchal false programming really deep in every male, and it's really hard to step out this programming and show yourself with all your vulnerabilities and everything, like you are, without any veil, without any in pure authenticity, like to be yourself. And so this is something that we need to balance, because it's really energetically, we need to reconnect both divine feminine and divine masculine. And for us, we are like the first men that are doing this, are really like the pioneers of a new way to express masculinity, but with unconditional love. That's the only purpose of being here. So this is what we are doing.
Yeah, I like the way you explain that too, because it's like, if you look at it, she would identify more, or she would identify, period, with the higher chakras. Where he would identify more with the lower chakras, which is translated into more of a physical thing, which is why, the obsession.
Survival. It's the survival.
Survival of his false ego, rooted in his genitals, as displayed by, the big trucks he buys, and the toys he buys, and the big boats, and the big everything. Right.
Yes.
So it's quite a dressing down. It's a demasculation to be divinely masculated, I guess, and I think too, the other thing that you point out too, is that for every degree of false power that the masculine energy gives up, they're actually opening space for the suppressed feminine energy within themselves.
Absolutely, because they need to trust us. They need this is the only way to create harmony. Without trust, there is no harmony. So most of the conflict between man and woman until today is because of trust.
Yeah, that's it. And even trust between a man and a man. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, we were out there on the battlefield, so everything was about it's either you or me, and so that's survival.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, everything he did was rooted in the root chakra about survival. How well he did at his job, you know, how well he fought on the battlefield, how well he performed in the bedroom, how well he did everything was how he viewed himself, you know. And I think that feminine energy is just an energy that doesn't care. You know, it is, like you said, that unconditional love that he's got to learn for
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the false programming, it's all about this ego trick
Yeah.
that there is scarcity and we are in competition.
Yeah.
So if the mind is, if the lower mind is really deep into scarcity and competition, then you have all this survival rooted in the chakras, because we store our state of mind and our emotions in our energetic field. So we really disconnect ourselves from every higher state of consciousness, because we think that there is scarcity and we need to be in competition. So it's really tricky for the mind to stop this process and to say there is abundance for everyone. We don't need to live in competition. We don't need to live in scarcity. We can create whatever we want. We just need to cooperate. You know, it's another way of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I saw an interesting post this morning, and I'm not sure. I think it was Pars Cote. It might have been Broder Badal. Um, in fact, I think it was. Anyway, and this again is a metaphoric ex, expression or explanation in my mind.
Yeah,
You know, people can make up their own mind, but and it to me, it served to the point that we are not just um, bringing into balance those energies within ourself, but in this realm, obviously, but also in the entire universe. And so this post that he put up was talking about, it was a channeling that he had found, somebody had channeled a reptilian civilization representing billions, right? And
yeah,
what I found interesting was that it was a message for the earth, and it was saying basically that in every species, there's, you know, through the history of the galaxies, of the universes, there's sometimes elements that break away, that fall into the extreme polarity or whatever you want to call it, imbalance or whatever. But what was interesting was this channel, this reptilian overlord or whatever leader said, you know, in terms of technology and in terms of our civilization, we're far ahead of most all of the galactic families. But on a spiritual level, we're not. And we're trying to get there. And so I read that and I thought, wow, that's pretty interesting. You know, I think a lot of us have had to integrate reptilian energy, come to terms with it, see it as part of ourselves, embrace dark and light, so to speak. But I thought it was interesting, and I thought, well, maybe that's an effect of what we're doing here on a personal level and collectively on this earth. Is that's the type of you know, thought pattern or changes that we're having, effects that we're having, where this civilization, which is advanced, far advanced technologically and so on, recognizes that they need that spirituality, which is rooted in unconditional love, which is rooted in that goddess energy.
absolutely. Yes, I mean I think there are different families in the galaxy. So there are families that honor life, and there are also families that do not really understand the connection with life. So they are more, in a service to self structure. But we, as human beings, we come from a family that is absolutely in a service to others structure. So we should reconnect with this family, because we are part of this family, and these are our ancestors.
Yeah.
And everything that is happening now as an effect, because as above, so below. So everything that happens also in the lower realms has an effect on the larger scale. And so that's why this process has been observed by also outside of this world, because it's a really important process to change the frequency and the consciousness of an entire system, basically through infiltration, because this is what's happening. This is like an infiltration into a corrupted system.
Yeah.
To change a corrupted state of consciousness, and come back to the original state of consciousness of the human being that should be based on unconditional love. Is not something like rhetoric, or it's really the basic foundations of our bodies, and is the basic foundation of the temple.
Yeah.
So it's not something that we do because we want to speak about love, we want to be all peace and love and flowers. I really want to point out the importance of considering scientifically love as the basic foundation of the human being.
Yeah, I agree. And I like what you said too about the infiltration. It's like the ground team is an antivirus virus. You know?
Absolutely. Avira.
And I think Avira. The only one I know is vigoroso. I found that word years ago. I've always loved it. Yeah, and then too, somebody even made a comment too. But and we have these stories in these sacred texts, which are mostly, little bits of the real history. Like for instance, the deluge, the flood. You find that in all the text, but also some prophecy to bring us up to this point. I agree with you. That is the basis, and to get back to that original state and expand it, I think, is what and why we're receiving so much attention. And I think too that this is a really and truly a new sacred text that's being written and being experienced and being exhibited and projected out into all corners of the universes, multiverses. And that is that we have this universal representation on one planet with so many starts and stops, and so many start overs. The Atlantis story, Lemuria, and they go. I'm sure there's more we don't even know about. But the fact is that we're converting this dense energy as a universal collective, not just an Earth collective. And that to me says, we have the opportunity to take this thing further than any planet or group ever has at this moment. And a lot of the intel you see from people talk about when they channel, it talks about the infinite diversity of the Earth.
Yeah. Originally, the project of this planet was like a living library, like the original plan was to have a center of information exchange where data could be stored through frequencies. But then this project because Earth is at the center of a lot of galactic highways, so we are in a territory that is really these different families, they fought to conquer this territory. That's why we have in our memories this Star Wars back in the mind. We have always this space wars imagination that comes from this past, because that were absolutely wars in space.
Absolutely.
And who conquered this territory was not on the same family, like was from another family. So that's why there is a fall of consciousness, and these beings are the beings that are in the Bible, that are in the Sumerian text all over the world, and we can find evidence of this history in a lot of places on the planet. So now it's just this process that we are seeing now. It's just a coming back to the origins.
Yeah.
Originally, the human beings were really, really, really powerful. Yeah. Were beings connected to source, were beings that could live hundreds of years, and they were absolutely powerful beings. But then when there was this fall of consciousness because of this war and of this new family that came in, let's say,
interference.
So there was an hyperdimensional interference. So basically, when the human beings have a low energetic state, they can be affected by other entities. So this is what happens. But when your chakras are blocked and your Kundalini is not active, then you can experience fears, anxiety, doubts, all this lower state of consciousness, just because these energies can enter in your energetic space. That's the technical reason. They can just enter, and they can affect your mood, your mind. So
absolutely.
When you really notice, when you rise your vibration, you feel always in joy and happy, and you have never fears or anxiety or doubts or anything like that, just because technically they cannot enter.
Yeah. And something's shifted. People talk about we've turned a corner, we've hit the tipping point. I think it's obvious this year, especially, that there's the universal energy itself is, maybe has more access, but whatever it is, maybe some things have been removed, which is, if we got to look at, like you said, below, above. I mean, if we're removing implants and removing energetic blocks within ourselves, and the same thing's happening on the collective, allowing space for the pure energy that is the only energy to come in. And And I think the other thing too is we're moving forward in this living library, because that's what it is. I like that. Is that we're if you think about the galactic wars and you think about the history of the universe and the history of Mother Earth and all that, the solar system, that was very real. And so it almost makes you want to, jump in your warrior suit and get out there and do it again. But I don't think there's anything that we could do, that we could ask for in terms of an opportunity than what we're doing. And I think as time goes on, more and more of us will begin to understand how powerful that we are. We are still that same powerful being that you spoke about before the interference. And we're actually, for lack of a better way to put it, fighting the good fight. We're doing the universes and the earth and ourselves a huge service by showing up, number one, and two, transmuting the hell out of this dense energy into possibly the highest light this universe has ever.
Yeah, absolutely, and I totally agree, and I can confirm on my personal experience that when I was living in fear, for example, or I was my mind was always affected by past or future, so I couldn't live in the now, in here and now. So this is the main tool this hyperdimensional interference used to trick your mind, to avoid that you are here and now with your presence. This is really something something that you have to understand how it works in order to liberate yourself from this monkey mind that goes always in the past or in the future, and you can never stay in the present. That's all. That's all. When you find the way to do that, then you can remember everything, how it works. It's like if immediately you download from the collective consciousness the higher truth. It's like an immediate download.
Absolutely, and especially now everything's accelerating. It's moving faster. We're learning faster, picking up on things faster. We had two people. It's out of the ordinary, but we do everything here on a spontaneous basis, where our true power is, our innocence, creativity, intuition. But two people have said before the show ends, could we please do a meditation?
Meditation.
So to connect everybody. So we got 20 minutes to go. We'll do that in about 10 minutes. I don't think it'll be a meditation like other people do them, but I don't know how you meditate. I don't know how I meditate, but I think we can. I think we can come together in the last few minutes and do something.
But do you have a specific music for this? Can you put on something?
Yeah, you talk to the people and I'll find some music. Yeah, I can do that. You talk to them.
Okay.
No, I mean, talk to him now while I find the music. Then we'll both talk on the music. All right. Let's see.
Let's see what you have.
Yeah, no, I'll set it up. It'll take me a couple of minutes, but we still got time. So let's move on to another subject while I set that up. So it seems to me too that we spent so much time doing shadow work and inner work. A lot of people talk about 2018 being the one of the toughest years of their lives. I made it. See those memes of people coming off the roller coasters. I made it out of 2018. And now it seems that the energies are supporting us by being more expansive, because maybe we're more expansive, but we're able to move. These things appear in front of us and they don't hang around. They don't linger. You can, you can swipe them clean and reprogram a lot quicker than we used to. Are you seeing that? Are you experiencing that?
Absolutely, yes. And I have confirmations from a lot of people from a lot of different places. They are all experiencing this expansion. And most of all, they have no anymore reactions to what was triggering them before, like the most of the time we had to deal with this really strong anger, and to deal with anger because you didn't feel understood, or you had this relationship conflict where you were on a completely different level, so you felt absolutely isolated. And to deal with this anger and to not react anymore is the step out point, where from there you can go like a train. Nothing can stop you anymore, because you are absolutely clean when you don't react anymore to your triggers.
Yeah, and I think that a big part of that too is each one of us, or as each one of us realize that whatever's happening has nothing to do with anybody else. It has to do with us, and that's all there is to it. So, that's a big one. That's a big, I think, for people. It really is. It's we got to take responsibility for ourselves. And I think it was Sasha Grace was on yesterday from Australia, and she was talking about working with clients and getting them to the point in the conversation where she would say to him, now you understand that everything and anything that's ever happened to you was created by you. And I think that's been a big one for people. A tough pill to swallow, especially if you've gone through some trauma where you were brutalized or victimized, but that's what happened to the strong ones, and we're all strong, all 8 billion of us. That's what I say.
You have to face your own bullshit sometimes,
Ain't that the truth? Let's see here. I'm still looking. Keep going. We still got 15 minutes. So, what are you working on now? I know you put that book out, right? You got a book out, and you can put that on the comments when we're done. What are you working on now? Are you just floating around doing your thing?
No, I want to go to Canada because I met a girl.
Holy shift. Holy freaking shift. You're just telling us this now?
Yeah.
Well,
this is my first project.
Well, if I was you, it'd be my first project too. Well, I'm very happy for you. It's interesting because I know, of course, Morgan and I have been together 3 years, and there's been an evolution in that's had to parallel the energy of the collective. We've seen 3 fairy tale-ish, spontaneous, magical connections made with 3 of our friends of ours that clearly demonstrate the contagiousness of the pure love, frequency. And so, now looks like it might be happening to you. So that's cool. But on that note, do you think we're going to see more and more coupling, more and more um, balanced partners coming together as a result
Yes.
of this? Yeah.
Yes, you can absolutely find your perfect match when your eye on your higher in your higher self. You know, it's always a technical reason. Also, in this case, I think when you are so pure, authentic to yourself, you can only find your perfect match.
So how long has this? How long has this been going on? Did it just pop up or what?
Yeah, it's we are in contact. You know, it's a distance relationship, so we are in contact through video chat and WhatsApp or Messenger.
Or through bilocation or teleportation?
That's my main goal in the next weeks.
Have you seen the power of the mirror in the time that you've been interacting with this potential partner or partner? Have you seen things in yourself that you were unaware of, that you needed to look at, or things like that?
Not. I mean, this is something that I saw more in my last relationship, where I really needed to find my, you know, to face my bullshit, and that's what I did. But now with this girl, I only find pure a pure feeling, you know, without any. It's really free. It's something really pure and free. So it's
Did,
totally different from the past. And in the past, I was weak, so I was not attracting girls that could love me as I wish.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Did you know right away?
I know her because of my book, because of my post of yeah, because a lot of people follows me, and yeah, they write me, and sometimes you get a perfect match. You really find the, you know, connection, and you can easily connect and speak about everything, and comes really natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's always an alignment on frequencies, and you find the perfect embodiment of the same frequency.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. It makes sense. You know, it makes sense. Like
Yeah,
you said, the kingdom is inside of us. And as we change that, then everything outside of us matches that. So it's a beautiful thing, and it's contagious. And
it's
it's
contagious, and it's so effortless. So we struggle all life to get what we want, and there is this sacrifice uh, programming, mind programming about sacrifice, that, you know, your parents tell you, in order to get what you want, you have to sacrifice yourself, you have to work hard. This is a false mind programming, because in order to get what you want, you just need to be on the right frequency. So
yeah.
you have to work inside. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to put effort. You have to really find inside what you want. And when you broadcast a clear frequency in the environment around you, because it's clear what you are, it's a clear broadcasting. That's why you can attract what is exactly on your same level of joy, of clean, of emotional state, of mind state, of everything.
Yeah. So in other words, you don't have to go looking for it. It will find you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything will find you when you are in the right moment. You are ready. In that moment, everything will find you.
Yeah. Very cool. So at the request of a couple of ladies out there, we're going to do something spontaneous. Okay. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? Doesn't matter to me. Say whatever you want.
I don't know what the music
Oh.
you wanna put on.
Well, I'm not going to put on a house jam. It's morning over here. It's morning over here. I don't want to do something like that.
Okay.
I'm putting by a guy out of Germany, Kaingle.
Okay.
So, and if you want to, if you just let me know what you want to do. If you want to speak, go first. You go first, and let's start it up.
I want to read something that for me it's really important.
Okay, you want to read something?
Read, but on the music, if it's possible.
Yeah, it's coming now.
Okay.
Here it comes. Here it comes. Hang on. Can you hear it?
Yes. From the K of Magic and his emerald tablet of thought. Oh man, to the wisdom of magic. Of the powers forgotten. Long ago in the days of the first man, a war began between darkness and light. Men then, as now, were forbidden both darkness and light, and some darkness held another spirit.
Hold the mic up.
Struggle.
Hold the mic up close. Hold your mic up close.
Yeah, but I don't have. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Perhaps has there been filled with the blackness, struggling away against the light. But others there are who, filled with brightness, have ever conquered the darkness of night. Wherever may be knowledges and plain, surely you shall know of the battle with the night. Long ages ago, the sons of the morning descending, found the world filled with night. There in that past began the struggle, the age-old battle between darkness and light. Many in the time were so filled with darkness that only feebly flamed the light from the night. Some they were master of darkness, who sought to fill all with their darkness, sought to do others into their night, but fiercely the master of brightness fought this night and won, forever won.
That was very good. That was excellent. I had the music up too loud and your mic was down, but most of it was good. Most of it, we got it all. And certainly got the energy and the frequency and the wisdom and the love and the courage and the sovereignty. Just a reflection of the ever-expanding vibration that each and one of us are and this collective is. As we're doing the universal work, there is only one, and we are that. So, Thank you, my brother Marco. It's
Thank you, Todd.
You again. We can't wait so long the next time. 3 months, it's 4 months, whatever it's been, it's too long. We should do it in a few weeks or a month. And I just tell everybody out there, keep doing the work. It's not futile. We're making great strides every single day by pulling together without any guarantees, without any recognition from the 5D, the mainstream. We just keep doing what we're doing, and we'll turn not just this world, but the whole universe upside down and correct this thing. It's a universal correction, and take pride in that. That's music is by Kai Engel, whoever asked, Kai. The last name is Engel. That's called Between Nothing and Everything. I've been writing to this guy's music for 6 years. He's got some great music. Yeah, he's really good. He's got a really, really broad spectrum in his archives of different types of music. He's incredible. You can find him on SoundCloud, Reverb Nation, and YouTube. Marco, I love you. I'll see you later.
Thank you, Todd.
And good luck to you. When you come to Canada, give me a call. Maybe we can get together.
Yes.
It's close enough, right? I'll see you. All right.
Ciao.